So I'm Shannon. I am the owner and founder of Savage Wellness. I am just starting this Mama Mecca, and what I'm trying to do is bring in really amazing people who can help us moms feel a little bit more taken care of, because we have nobody to take care of ourselves, right? Like we take care of everybody else, nobody's left to take care of us. So one of the people that caught my eye is Amy here, and she's going to come and talk to us about CBD, which is such a fascinating subject medically and philosophically. There's these stigmas, and some people love it. Some people are totally freaked out by it. So I'm really excited to have you here to talk to us more about CBD.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for having me here. I am Amy Chin, the founder of Calm Better Days. And what we do is we provide a service where we help customers learn about CBD and help guide them through their CBD journey so they don't have to go with tons of research, or you don't have to know anything, and we will help and guide you. And at the end, we can help pair certain products that will fit your needs and your lifestyle, and you can maximize your CBD benefits.
Oh, see, that's so cool, because one of the things I loved about like my prenatal fitness class was not like the fitness, but was going in and just being like, okay, everybody, what stroller should I buy? Because I don't want to do the research. I don't, there's too many stores and too many websites. So like if I can come to a trusted place and ask somebody, this is what I'm looking for, what is it that I need? Oh, it's so helpful. And it's kind of like what I'm trying to build too with the wellness resources. Here's all the stuff I trust. Let me point you to it. So I love that business model.
Absolutely. And it's, the wild, wild west out there right now with CBD. You can get it even at your gas station, which I would not recommend, but the information overload is astounding, and not all of it is correct. So you really want to go to a trusted source, and there are a few things you should definitely look out for. And also, besides knowing what to buy, there's also no guidance out there on how to take CBD and the different formats of taking it. So there's definitely a lot to know, or that you should know before you start your CBD journey.
I mean, you're putting it in your body, whether it's on your skin or in your mouth, like it's going into you. So we should probably be pretty informed about what we're putting in our bodies. And like you said, I see it at Walgreens, and then I see it these high-end boutiques online, and I'm like, I don't know, this one's $5, this one's $65. I mean, I like the $5. It says it's the same thing, right? And so having somebody be like, no, don't buy that $5 one. Here's why. I think is really smart.
Yes. And it's not to say that, more expensive is always better. Sometimes that money is from marketing as well. So we want to just look at everything, not just, but there's definitely a lot to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can come in and be like, hey, this one, yes, it's $150. You don't need to spend that much. Here's this other one. And I, that is also really helpful for people like me who hate making decisions. So one thing that I really loved about your story too is that you use CBD to address your anxiety and postpartum depression, which speaks a lot to me too. I had a really horrible experience with postpartum depression, and I still struggle with the anxiety and depression. So tell me more about that and how you found CBD.
Yes. So while I was going through, anxiety and the postpartum depression, which, it didn't even dawn on me that that was what I was feeling at the moment. I have been going to therapy with my husband for marriage counseling, and my therapist suggested, CBD. And, before taking it, I, like most moms, we were tired, cranky. I was mad. I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to face the day. Little things that didn't go my way would totally ruin my whole day. And, after taking the CBD, it was it felt like rose-colored glasses came on. All of a sudden, I felt like I got off on the right side of the bed. And little things that didn't go my way, I could let it go. I had more patience with the kids. When you're going through anxiety and depression, there's a lot of thoughts going through your head at the moment.
Mhm.
For example, when you're trying to have a good time with your kids, but then let's say, for example, we were decorating cookies this weekend, and in my head, it's always like, oh, we're going to have such a wonderful time. We're going to bond and we're going to do all these, like when you see the magazine spread, right?
Right.
But, it just ends up like, the kids are taking the sprinkles and like mic dropping all the sprinkles everywhere. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not how I imagined it. So, but usually when you're a person with anxiety and depression, for me, there's a million thoughts in my head, like, oh, how am I going to clean this? Or, just thoughts running through my head. And it doesn't allow you to be present.
Yeah.
And when I took CBD, it allowed me to be present. So I was more mindful and I didn't have all those, 101 thoughts going through my head. I could just focus on what was at hand. And that was what's really important. So I felt and I saw the difference and how much better of a person. It just felt so much lighter.
Yeah.
And I started at a medical dispensary first. And you feel, and I thought, well, if you're going to a medical dispensary, the doctors there would be able to, handhold you, guide you through the whole experience. But my experience was very sterile. It was just, would you like tincture or a flower or a capsule? So I asked, well, what's the difference? And, can you tell me more? And they're just very clinical. Well, you just take this twice a day, tincture, maybe 3 times a day. And I'm like, okay, I'll just do capsules because it sounds like the easiest option. So, I mean, it did work.
Mhm.
So, and because it worked, I started looking into it. I researched everything myself, started going to seminars. I mean, after having kids, I'm definitely a believer in holistic and everything as natural as possible. I don't like Western drugs with their long list of side effects.
Mhm.
So I felt this, wonderful plant with so many healing properties. It's such a shame that not enough people understand it and want to use it because why wouldn't you want to take something that has minimal side effects that can help you with so many things? I mean, I literally was like a changed person. It allowed me to step out and see myself as a hamster on that wheel. And I'm like, and after stepping out, you realize, wow, it doesn't have to be like that. And
Mhm.
also, I didn't even realize I was that hamster on the wheel until I was able to
Right.
step out of it.
Yeah.
So that was a game changer. And I felt like, I would love to get this to other moms. We're
Mhm.
all stressed, we're all tired, and we all need self-care in our already very packed schedule. And I get that we can't, sometimes schedule self-care. But if you
Mhm.
can't schedule self-care, to me, I feel like, okay, at least take your CBD so you safeguard your immune system, your body, your mind, your overall wellness. Because if
Yeah.
we can't fill our own cup, we have nothing else to give to our family. And
Yeah,
then that's when we're,
absolutely. And I do
yeah.
think, what you're saying about it being, it's hard to find that time to prioritize, but, reminding people there are really small actionable steps that we can take to continue to prioritize ourselves, even if it's not, getting to a massage every week or going for a run 5 times a week or whatever, these big things that you feel like you need to do. One of the things I teach my moms is it's not going to look like it used to, the way we took care of ourselves before kids, and we need to be okay with that. So this idea of bouncing back, it's not possible, but it is possible to bounce forward right into this new routine that feels great. And so what are the new strategies we can find? And we have to address that it's new and it's changed, and just like you said, these small actionable steps that we can take to take care of ourselves to feel better. We sometimes feel like we need to be a martyr, right? Like, well, I did this, I have kids, I love them, this is what I've always wanted. I'm just going to sacrifice myself. They'll grow up soon. And it's like, no, but you're not going to enjoy it. You're not even, if you're tired and you're stressed and you're not present, you might not even remember it. So you're going to end up 10 years down the road and be like, I don't remember. I was in such a fog. I remember this time that I wanted in my life. So I love that this is another one of those small actionable steps. So I guess the question that I have is, what is the difference between THC and CBD? Because I am, I talk to people about it. Hey, have you tried CBD? I don't personally use it because I haven't just had the time to figure out, I haven't found somebody that can walk me through it really. So we're going to talk. But, I hear it's great. And I get a lot of, I tried pot in college and it just makes me more anxious. So I don't want to do that. So maybe you can explain to us the difference between THC, which people often link to increased anxiety, and CBD.
Yes. So THC and CBD are both two different cannabinoids found in the cannabis plant. Everybody knows THC as the one that gets you high or stoned, and CBD is the one that you do not get high. So you can take CBD safely and you will not get high. And actually, because you do not get high, I feel that a lot of people sometimes also take CBD and say, you know what, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And that's because CBD does not produce that high. And I think of it as actually taking away negative symptoms. So if you're feeling, let's say I have a knot on my neck that feels like an intensity of a 10, or my stress levels at an 8 today. So what you would do is take the CBD and after an hour assess, okay, how is my stress level? Did it go down? Does the muscle tension, does it seem like it kind of melted away? And that's also helpful in finding your own dosage too. So
yeah. I like that. Do an assessment before and after. Where am I at before I take this, and then think, where am I at now? I tried it once on my back, like a cream at like one of those tasting party or whatever where you can try them out. And I was wearing a maxi dress, so I had to like shove my dress up and show my a little bit. My back was hurting, and honestly, it helped, which I was surprised. I was kind of like, okay, my back always hurts. I know how to deal with it through exercise and chiropractic care. But I was like, wow, this really alleviated a lot of that inflammation. But then, I found myself thinking like, is that just in my head? Was it a placebo effect? And, I'm researching online. No, it's good for inflammation, but I still, like you said, because there's not, just this drastic change. I still was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was that or if it was just me hoping and then it did feel better or what. And so I think if I had spent a little more time, like instead of just passively rubbing it on, but like, okay, where am I at? How does this feel when I move like this, right? And really do an assessment. I think that probably would have been better.
Yes. On my website, there's a dosage tracker, and that is for people to write down, do like a self-check before they take the CBD so they can write everything down, that symptoms they want to address. And it's also good because then if you have different types of CBD products, each CBD product, even let's say they're both 1,000 milligrams, you may react differently to it just because each brand is unique, just like each plant. And also how your body reacts and the dosage, is also very unique. So it's always good to write down, the brands, the milligram of the potency, because then you really know, oh, you know what, this one didn't really work for me, but this brand worked. So it's a good way to track.
That's really smart. Like a food journal, kind of.
Yes.
Okay, excuse me 1 second. What's your question?
What is this equal?
Nora has 4 candles on her cake. Maria has 9 more candles than Nora. How many more candles does Maria have? So she has, what's 4? And then what's the missing number to count to 9? You use your fingers. You say 4, and then you say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many is that?
Five.
That's right. All right. Well, good job. I'll be
Is
right
he
there.
in, how
He's
old
in
is he?
first grade.
First grade. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be right in there, okay? As soon as I'm done with this. And Daddy should be home pretty soon. Um, okay. So yeah, that's really helpful. I think approaching it from that like really assessment point of view, because again, and I've tried a vaporizer for anxiety. Oh, your video just disappeared. Can you still
Oh,
hear me?
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's
Yes.
okay.
Sorry.
I've tried a vaporizer for, oh, this helps with anxiety. And yeah, because I didn't feel anything. I was like, I don't know, maybe it helps. But I've also felt that way with like Ativan, honestly. And like, okay, I think it helped, but like, I don't know. So I think, again, yeah, that assessment is really good. And the dosage and understanding, because then I'll take 2 Ativan. I'm like, oh, yep, felt that. So, trying to figure out what is that dosage that really does help. That's a really good tip.
Right. And for dosaging, for general wellness, it's about 1 milligram per 10 pounds.
Okay.
So people who, let's say, for example, if you weigh 100 pounds, then for general wellness, you would take 10 milligrams.
Okay. Like at
And
once or throughout the day?
well, you would microdose that. It's
Okay.
CBD is most effective when you microdose it, taking it in small quantities throughout the day, like
Okay.
3 to 4 times. And also, sorry, what was I going to say? About microdosing? No. Oh,
Dosage?
sorry. So that, yeah, the dosage is for general wellness. So people with more severe, let's say someone with more severe back pain or someone going through Parkinson's, their
Mhm.
dosage might be higher.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's something that each individual, their dosage is very unique and it's something they have to kind of experiment with
Hmm.
and to find their dosage. It's
Okay.
kind of also, we're so conditioned to pharmaceutical drugs that we feel that, you take one pill and it'll just go away.
Hmm.
But with plant medicine, we have to understand, you have to slowly go through it. It doesn't work like pharmaceutical drugs.
Okay. So take me through a little bit of what, if I was going to reach out to somebody like you, how does that work in terms of um, just the process of it, right? I can go onto a website and I can read the descriptions of the products. This is recommended for anxiety, probably at this
Mhm.
dosage level. What's the difference between working with you and just going onto a general CBD website in terms of like the quality of products, the amount you would recommend? How does that work?
Well, I would offer general consultation, or even I have 2 options. You can, if you have one general question that you want to just ask quickly in the chat box, you can. And if you want a more guided consultation one-on-one, you can schedule that.
Oh, that's
And
good.
when we're on our call, we can go through any questions you have. I could help you with dosaging. And if you tell me what your needs are, what you want to focus on, like if you want to focus on your pain or anxiety, I can introduce and tell you what products would be best for that. And also based on your lifestyle. Some
Mhm.
people don't like capsules. Sometimes a vape would be better for people who want instant results. Or maybe, a tincture would be the most economical way to go and easy to dosage out. So it's also based on your preference. So I'll ask questions to try to understand your lifestyle a little bit more and your preferences. Because I find that what happens, a lot of people end up buying a $75 tincture. They have no
Mhm.
idea about it except for the description on the website. They bring it home, they open it, and they taste it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I did not know it was gonna." this, and now it just sits there because I don't like
Gross.
the taste of it.
Yeah.
So I'll ask different questions to understand what your needs and your preferences are, and then I can, tell you what products would be best for you.
And does this, I have another question on that line, but one just popped up. Say for example, I just had I don't know what it's called, like a screening or a medical assessment for life insurance. I just bought life insurance. Um, so, one of the things they're testing for is drugs in your system. And some of the insurance agencies are fine with marijuana, THC, whatever shows up. Does CBD show up? And would that be something that you'd want to be concerned about in terms of like, oh, they're going to find that I take this drug?
Well, CBD is legal now federally, so that
Right.
shouldn't be a problem. For people who are being drug tested, it really
Hmm.
depends on what kind of drug tests they're looking for. If they're
Okay.
looking for just a cannabinoid, then it might pop up. But if they're looking for
Okay.
THC specifically, then it wouldn't be a
It
problem.
wouldn't trigger that. Okay, that's
Right,
interesting.
right. It
And
shouldn't. It
so
shouldn't, but
similarly, I guess it goes into your bloodstream. So that's something where if you're breastfeeding, you'd want to be aware of the fact that I guess there haven't been too many studies showing the effects of it on infants.
there haven't been enough studies,
Yeah.
and doctors will tell you no, not to do it, just to be on the safe side.
Hmm.
Uh, but we also have to remember, doctors are studying medical, do not study plant medicine.
Hmm.
So so they will need to say no. So
Yeah.
I personally have breastfed my daughter when I was using it.
Yeah, and I imagine it's kind of like the debate with alcohol too in your bloodstream. How much is actually getting into the breast milk? Some people
Hmm.
are really like, what? I don't want anything. I don't want to risk it. And some people are like, well, I'm fine with having a drink or two. I don't see a negative effect in the baby. Um,
Right.
so I think it's also maybe just personal anxiety
Right.
over what you're putting in your body.
Yes.
Okay, so the question that I had that we were talking about before in terms of what your process is, do you specifically work with one brand, or are you kind of out there sourcing from like everything that's out there and saying, I like this for this, I like this brand for this? How does your process work with that?
Uh, I am definitely by myself sourcing everything. I talk to the companies, I find out their mission, their goal. I source only from small farms. To me, that's really important because that's paying back to the growers, the cultivators.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, if they weren't doing what they were doing, we wouldn't have any hemp, you know, business at all, any help hemp, you know, in the world. So I definitely believe in paying back to the small farmers. I also believe there's a huge quality difference between small farms and large farms. An analogy would be buying fruits and vegetables from your farmer's
Right.
market versus a national chain.
Hmm.
And the hemp industry has not caught up to major agricultural uh,
Hmm.
industry standards. So right now they're still using corn, you know, combines to pick the flowers. And you really want, the small farm hand, grown and
Yeah.
to be harvested by hand. So that's really important. I look at all their testing, all the different brands, and I definitely use all the products myself and I see how I feel. So it does take a while to vet out different products and brands, but I feel at least in that way, I feel proud of like the curated brands that are in there and that you don't have to do the work and look into it. I know I look through their COAs to make sure there's no toxins,
Hmm.
to make sure the product is organic. And what else? So yes, I vet the brands myself.
I love that. A big part of what I do, excuse me, a big part of what I do when I am working with clients and also just my overall approach when I'm doing my coaching videos is reducing the toxins that you're putting into your body. So all the pesticides that are coming in, not only is it just generally not good for you, there's not been enough studies, there's links to Parkinson's and other chronic diseases, but one of the issues is stress and cortisol levels and what you're doing to the process of the way your body works in terms of hanging on to visceral fats and, increasing insulin levels. So, there's very real medical components to removing those toxins from your body in terms of just the way your body's functioning and even just breaking it down to weight loss, right? Which we all want to kind of shed those unwanted pounds easily. And so, things like this that you're putting into your body, definitely being careful of the quality of the ingredients because it's not just us saying, hey, hippy dippy, you got to live organic. It's got real effects on the way your body works, the longevity of your body. So to me, that's really important to also only promote products that are safe in terms of what I'm telling my clients they should put in their body. So I love that.
And also hemp is a bioaccumulator. So it soaks up all the toxins in the soil, kind of like spinach and kale. So if it has fungicide, heavy metals, mold, pesticide, if you have a compromised immune system and taking CBD daily, you definitely do not want to be ingesting that.
Yeah, wow, that's really good to know. Yes, we definitely need to talk because you sold me. I've been trying to figure out how to kind of enter into this myself, especially worried about throwing my own system off, right? I've kind of found my balance of anxiety relief and the things and practices I can utilize. And while it's not gone, and like you said, it still pops up into like, oh my God, there's such a mess. How do I enjoy this arts and crafts right now? Or he's not doing it perfectly. The eyeball's over here. It should be over here. So I get that still. And, but I am reluctant to incorporate new things with the fear that it'll throw me off. So having somebody like you to talk to, and also I think, again, kind of going back to why I do what I do, having that person you can come back to and say, okay, here's what it feels like. Here's what it's doing. Is this related to the CBD or is this something that is separate from that? I think just relieves so much stress and anxiety over the process that you can really fully dive in. So I love what you're doing. I think this is great. And again, I love the supporting the small businesses and small farms too. Is there anything else that you want to add to this? And also including in that, where can we find you? What's the best deal to get in?
Yes, you can find me on calmbetterdays.co.
Okay.
And you can schedule an appointment right on the homepage. And if you have any questions, I always, tell people, feel free to reach out even after they bought the products, stay in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to, text me. I love that. I want to help people understand their CBD journey and, that way they can maximize. And who doesn't want to feel better? And it's minimal side effects. It's a no-brainer.
Well, I love it. I will put all of that information in the show notes, like right below on YouTube or wherever else I post this. So they'll have your information there. And I'm excited to get to know how this all works. And I'll be posting my experience online too. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you do reach out to Amy, I just want to say, let her know you came from this. Let her know you saw this video because I want her to know that you watched this. And
yes. And I'm giving a 10% off to all the people who come from Shannon. So definitely mention it.
Okay, yes, definitely mention me. And I will, I'm so excited to keep you kind of in my inner circle, I feel like my superpower is knowing really incredible people. So you are definitely one of those incredible people, and I'm excited to have you in my circle of awesomeness.
Thank you. Thank you for including me. And I love what you're doing
Okay.
too, because I think moms right now, we need all the support we can for self-care, our mental
Mhm.
health, our physical health. And I see that you combine all of that together, which is great.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need it, typed out for us and something to just follow. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have, with the many hats that we have to put on right now, to look into something ourselves. Any extra minutes should just be to relaxing and self-care.
Yeah, and I mean, have you noticed one of my things was like I go on and look for even like workouts myself. Like before I started this, what can I do? I don't want to have to give myself a workout. And then I'm on YouTube and I'm like, oh, Ellen did this funny show. I'm gonna watch this interview and like, oh, look at this lip sync battle. And then, I'm 30 minutes into watching crappy YouTube and I never got in a workout and I haven't cleaned anything. So I like this kind of thing.
Yes, and that happens to me too.
That's probably why
Much
we
too
both
often.
started this. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on my whatever this is. This is all new. My blog? No, I don't know. My YouTube channel. Um, I'm so excited to know you, and we will have you back again soon. So we will
Awesome.
definitely put out some announcements when that happens.
Awesome. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for having me. And I'll
All
come
right.
back anytime.
Yay. Okay, I'll talk to you
Yay.
later.
Okay.